And you're not alone out there, everybody. And we're back. The Drunken News Game Show on the Tangent podcast. Brian.
Yes.
You're maestro this week.
Apparently I'm maestro this week. I don't know what happened. Someone
Don't.
was like, you're reading it.
Don't
That's
bother. Let's move on.
Yeah, it is a scorcher.
Scorcher.
We're feeling good right now, though.
Feeling good right now.
Give us 10 minutes.
Yeah,
different story.
Not even 10.
Melting.
Not even
Melting. So we've got some headlines, but the first headline that we have this week, Atari
Yeah,
revealed
just rip that.
first images and more details of its new Ataribox console. So for those of you that have been living under a rock for the past, I don't know, year and a half, Nintendo came out with the NES Classic Mini, and now they're doing the
Now
NES,
everybody's
Super
got a
NES,
mini coming out.
Mini Classic.
Sega,
So
yeah.
Atari is jumping on this bandwagon. I think it's actually pretty cool.
I think it's a sweet bandwagon for people to jump on.
Exactly. Nostalgia ridden.
Can't go wrong. Let's go Sega.
Even more than
Dreamcast
nostalgia,
would
just
be
the fact that
something.
it's a great way to Dreamcast. play.
Old games.
Old games.
Well,
You've
well,
never-
Sega has had these out for years,
Yeah,
like
that's
in
true.
Toys R Us's and Walmart's.
But were
Brian
they
told
like
me
the
that, I had
ghetto?
no idea.
Yeah,
were
they
they
had-
like the ghetto versions,
No,
or were they
these
legit?
are-
it's
No,
just
they were
like-
legit, but I
They
heard
weren't-
they're not that good.
No, they're not that good. That's
Yeah.
the problem. They weren't handled with care.
Yeah.
This seems like it's being handled with care. The console
Handle
will
me with
feature.
care. Great tune.
Yeah.
The console will feature an HDMI output, 4 USB inputs, and an SD slot, and it will also come released 2 different versions. You'll have the wood grain edition, like the original
The wood-
60
oh, yes,
2600,
the one I would want.
or you can get the black and red one, which I don't know really which one that one, because the 7800 was black and silver.
Never go against the grain.
You never go against the grain. That's just fucking solid
Yeah,
points.
solid advice.
Solid advice. They don't say anything about games or anything like that, but if you don't have the entire fucking collection on here, what's the point? These games, I mean, they're the oldest fucking video games really known to man. If you can't have the entire library on here, you're doing something wrong. Like,
Especially with all those outputs they just gave you, you should be able to download whatever they left behind.
I mean, with an SD card, you'd like to imagine that somebody is going to hack the shit out of this and just let you download every ROM. I just need Jungle Hunt, Pitfall, and River Raid on here.
Well, you'll get them. I heard
I don't need any
that
of
it
those things.
plays.
I don't need a single one of those
So
things.
there was like the rumor that no one knows what the fuck this thing can do because they also mentioned something about it playing current Atari games.
What's a current Atari game?
They do make they still make games, by the way. Just
It's bullshit.
Just like as a
That's
company.
bullshit. There's-
yeah, like public.
No.
Fake news? Are you calling me fake news?
Okay.
No, I'm not calling you fake news. If that's what they're trying to do with this, throw it out the fucking window. I don't
they
want
trying to
new
do?
Atari games on that. I want to play my old Atari games. That's what I want.
If you can do both, what's the
so,
problem?
both, yeah,
so,
no.
but if they
It's a
then,
hybrid.
But if they hold on, what?
I need a timeout. What's the controller look like on this thing? Do we
Actually,
have,
that's a good point.
Do we have the stick and the one button?
Well, we
you got
haven't-
the
we
you
haven't
got the
s-
circus paddle, because if you don't have circus on there, do you really have a fucking Atari Classic Edition? I don't think
Fair
so.
enough.
No, you don't. You need you need both. But then if there's a new game, how are you going to play it? You just throw three
Brian.
controllers in there? What's
Brian.
happening?
I think you're overthinking this.
Brian,
Or I'm just going on a great rant.
Yeah, let him go.
hold on.
I think what?
I'm just saying.
You go.
Why wouldn't you just welcome the idea? You're already getting what you want, and then some. Have your cake and eat it too, Brian. Relax.
Well, the problem is there's no good Atari games now.
Well, they're hoping that maybe they can make some money. Who knows? Maybe they'll give you one.
Who knows?
Maybe you get a fucking.
Maybe if this is a great bundle,
I
it
have
gets
no
people back
idea
into
what
Atari.
they could give us, but they're trying.
Hey, you know who
They
else
are
is
still
trying?
around.
The Wii U. Apparently, the Wii U has received its first system software update in 18 months.
Thank God.
Did
Yeah,
they just say they were going to stop making them?
Yeah, I
Well,
think so.
just because they stopped making them
Doesn't mean that they're not going to.
So
That's
this,
dedication.
You gotta
Yeah.
fix it.
this
It's just
comes
like, hey,
from,
we're not making it anymore. You want that update?
Yeah, this comes from Nintendo World Report. Apparently, there's a new system software update now available for Nintendo's previous console version 5.5.2U.
To you, I like that.
Might be universal.
Better
Sure.
than the 2i.
It's better than 2i. It's the first system software update for the system since January 11 of 2016. So this year.
I remember it so well.
This year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good.
So
Brian.
apparently it's
Just
being
happened.
it's just overall system stability and other things like that.
I heard there was the rumor that it's getting rid of the Miiverse.
What?
Not that.
Not the Miiverse,
We need
Steven.
it. We need it.
But how will I know where my friends are if I don't have them line up with a little whistle, you know, and go and visit them in their little.
That's good. I thought you were going to
Towns.
fuck it up.
You do
but
remember,
that
yeah.
is the me first.
He's got it, man. He's got it.
But yeah, that's what the.
Yeah, and then you make them, you drag them way over here, and then you blow the whistle again, and you make them run. You know, the ones you don't like.
Was
It's
that your,
a-
is that your entertainment?
It's a game
for the-
within a game.
Very
Yeah.
Peakman-like.
Yeah,
Very Peakman-esque, yeah.
or very psychotic, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Sociopathic. No
People
big
I don't,
I don't
like,
like
they
to
run
judge.
the farthest.
I forgot
What
the
do we
friends
got
didn't like it.
They run the farthest. Haha.
So the next piece of news that we have, Aaron Flynn, the general manager of BioWare, is leaving after 17 years.
Don't care.
Sad news.
It is. I guess it's not. I mean, he's kind of left his mark on the industry. I feel like after almost 20 years.
What did he do?
So he worked on Neverwinter Nights, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, Jade Empire, and he's leaving now. So
I'm
presumably,
into all of those things. What was his job?
presumably, he was the general manager of BioWare.
Interesting. I don't think I know exactly what he does, but those were sweet games.
So I'm imagining he's the head of BioWare. Like he oversees
Greenlight those,
most
yeah.
of
Making
things.
sure everybody delegating all the.
More money
So
into
trying to
Knights of the
think
Old
with,
Republic 3.
What's coming out? Is it Anthem?
Anthem's coming
Anthem's
out. Yeah.
their new one that's coming out. Did they announce who's taking his spot?
Yes, Casey Hudson is returning to Edmonton, BioWare Edmonton, to take on the role of general manager for BioWare. I don't know who Casey Hudson is, but that name is very familiar.
I believe she worked on Mass Effect.
Kate
like the
Hudson is an
originals.
actress.
Casey's
That's
the
probably
young
why it
assistant.
sounds familiar. I mean, it's close.
No, it's just
Bringing up BioWare. I mean, not BioWare. Mass Effect. Your classy tweet of.
I mean, BioWare
Goodwill.
does make.
And-
Did you see that? If
Yeah.
you can follow me on Twitter at
Yeah.
It's a Me BT, there's a Goodwill store that just has Mass Effects just stacked for $12.50. And I
$12.50.
think that's high.
That's high, yeah.
That's
It's
a little
getting
much.
almost as bad as Battleborn.
Hasn't gotten to 5 and below yet.
Yeah. It's,
Five below, it'll be there.
Yeah, I'm
it
sure
will
it
really
will.
be there.
I still stand by it's not that bad
It's definitely not as bad as it's like
being made out to be.
Well,
the
it's
gameplay is super solid. Story,
not $12.50 worth.
I would spend 12. I would buy 2 copies for $25. I think Mass Effect's really.
Was
I
that-
think
it's-
Andromeda was worth the money.
It was
It's just
PS4 and
wasn't for me.
Xbox One,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
and PC.
Oh, and yeah, well, of course.
Well, I feel like sometimes in the retail world, there's some things you'd never come back from. And as gamers, we're like, oh, it's not that bad. But for them as a company,
Well, it's just like
you're
it's-
never getting more
right,
money than
it's-
this for it now. So
It's one of those
over.
things like
Yes.
right out of the gate. If you got that bad press, you're fucked. Like
Yeah.
this, it's so hard to come back from
Yeah,
that.
I mean it was well deserved at the time.
Well, I think in actuality for like that beta probably fucked them the most.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
big
whatever,
time.
whatever it was, the
When-
demo or
whatever
Yeah.
it was. Yeah,
It
it
was
was
a
like
demo.
the
Like
demo.
that-
when they had all
that
those
weekend.
clown memes
That
and
was
shit coming
just,
out beforehand,
you know,
and just
correct.
like
Well, because Mass Effect has such like high standards from there.
right.
make
Yeah.
a crane or something next time.
Can't do that.
But that's the one case of it.
That was sketchy.
It was kind of close.
I like
killing
that.
it.
What if you knock something over, man? You guys.
Well,
would've yelled
then
at me.
we'd be like this way, just like talking on the side. Next piece of news that we have: Mario Kart director philosophically talks about the need for the blue shell in the game.
the need for it.
The need, how it
You
needs
do,
to be.
yeah.
there.
It
So-
does.
So did someone ask him to get rid of it?
I'm probably just
Like,
threatened
who
them.
would he just?
Funny, you should ask.
Funny you should ask. Apparently,
Hopefully that's
so
in the
in a
news.
no.
no, in a full interview,
cut it.
in a full interview with Eurogamer, you can go check that out. You can read the whole thing here, but
We read
Kosaki, Yabuki, in a recent interview with Eurogamer, said that Mario Kart just doesn't feel like Mario Kart without the item. Quote, "We're always experimenting with what new elements to introduce or what elements can be removed. We have tried to see what the game would be like without the blue shell. When we are trying to see what the game is like without it, we've experimented and it actually feels like something is missing. Something is quite not right, and it's not enough. So we've decided to keep it in."
The
Was it
tagline
gonna,
of that
did they
article-
say they were going to get rid of it or something?
No, they're
just I think it was
what
just
they're
a
saying,
question.
They're just kind of like always. All the items are always in flux. I'm sure, like your blue shells, your
Yeah.
bananas are always going to stay there. But like maybe we'll get rid of
boo
boo
or
and
the boomerang or something.
or we'll get rid of the boomerang, or we'll add the fire flower. Let's try to remove the blue shell. But
The tagline, I think, of the article was "Life isn't fair." I don't know if that was actually in. Maybe it's in the full
Maybe it's in
Eurogamer.
the full. Yeah.
But I thought that was
He
kind of
does-
apt. But the blue shell was never in the original Super Nintendo.
No, it was introduced in the N64 one. Yeah.
N64 version. So it's interesting, like playing. If you go back, I mean, I think the Super Nintendo one's pretty still
It's still solid.
holds up. It's, as a Mario Kart, it feels like a Mario Kart.
It is Mario
I mean, actually, it wasn't, and it also wasn't in the GBA one either, was it?
I think it was.
Super Circuit?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yep. I think the only one it wasn't.
Is he
in-
sure, Steve?
I don't know.
I think
That's what
it
I'm kind
was.
of asking.
Check
I
your
don't know.
sources.
Yeah.
But going back to the whole life isn't fair thing, he's also said that the meaning of the blue shell even reflects something back, thinking about the meaning of life. Sometimes life isn't fair. Sometimes in life you have something where you feel like that's not right, and that's infuriating. So I
That's
can
what
see
the blue shell
that's
is.
what the blue-
It's
unless you
You
got
think
that
life's
super
so
horn.
going so well, you're in first place. All
Yeah,
of a sudden,
dude,
blue
that-
shell,
that feeling.
last place.
Yeah.
Well,
life
they
sucks.
did count it with the
The super horn,
Yeah.
which is introduced in 8.
yeah.
Yeah,
Super horn, sweet.
yeah.
What
the
is
only
it?
thing that
The
prevents a
super
blue
horn.
shell.
So it's the only thing that
Well, you
can
could cheat it
So
before.
the blue shell will in 8 it'll get to you and hover around your head for a bit. But if you have the super horn, you
Destroy
shoot
it.
that and it destroys it.
Anything,
It
right.
also destroys anything. I
Anything.
think for a star, if someone's going to hit you with a star and you use it,
doesn't-
they can still hit you.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
But no one should get a star. In
Yeah,
second
that's not a bad
place.
item. So you'd hang on to it as a first place as a strategy. So at least they give you a strategy to go for,
But the
and
worst-
potentially a chance to just get it and I'm in good shape.
The worst feeling is when someone uses the boo and then you get hit with the fucking blue shell.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Because
the
then
blue
that's
takes your
Be
shit.
interesting if
that's
the
switch
horn,
throwing. That's
Yeah,
just
that's awesome.
That horn had like a timing mechanism. So like if you're in first place and you hit like a box for an item, you'd automatically get it. But there's like an extra like element where like when you select it, like there's some sort of like timing thing. Like you got to hit, like it spins or something. You got to hit it at the right time so it works.
perfect.
Yeah.
That way it's not
I don't remember
so
that,
guaranteed.
but I usually never have. I've done it like maybe 5 times on my Mario Kart 8.
What, like having
Having it blue shell status.
I think they should just keep it the way it is.
I'm never
I
in
think
last
so,
place
too.
Something was
because you're
missing.
never in last place. It's
Well,
true.
it's funny you say that, Gary, but in a Kotaku interview back in 2011, Mario Kart series director and producer Hideki Kono said that the item was originally created to, quote, create a race where everyone was in it until the end.
Exactly.
So I think that
Everyone gets a trophy.
not everyone gets a trophy, but you have
You
a
get a
fighting
chance.
chance
Keeps the action packed.
for you to get Mario Karted,
I think you could go either way on it.
to get blue shell.
to get blue shelled hard. The last
I love
fleeting
dishing out
piece
the
of
blue
news
shell. It's
that we
satisfying.
have here,
It is
but
pretty.
there's more that we forgot to add because we're slackers. That's what happens
we do.
here.
It's called pocket news.
It's called Pocket
It's really
News.
hot. Yeah. It's pocket news. Gary's got a whole bunch of pocket news coming in.
That
I'm not
makes
a
me
f-
very excited for Gary's pocket news. But the fleet,
Does it?
we just wanted to talk about this. Is broke
Wait till you see it.
by Ars Technica. If you're using an operating system that is over a decade old to play, so Windows XP Vista, it's going to be buried by Blizzard games. So starting in October, Blizzard said that it will begin the process of ending support for Windows XP and Windows Vista in World of Warcraft, StarCraft 2, Diablo 3, Hearthstone, and Heroes of the Storm. So upgrade your shit.
One of the last bastions of Windows XP. Well, and Vista. Vista's kind of funny
Still-
to
still
I
better
discontinue.
haven't heard the word Vista in a while.
Right. Well, it's shunned. It's the black. You know,
It's the
the,
shittiest.
People
Don't-
fucking
It's the
hate.
People like
shittiest
7,
fucking.
right?
7's the
seven.
best.
Seven's the best. Probably the.
XP's better than 10.
I'm all about 10.
No,
Oh,
dude, no.
you
I
would
have
be
no idea
about
what I'm
10.
But
I'm a Vista
it's just
guy.
interesting because
Really?
I like Vista. I like how bubbly it looks. Love me some Vista.
You might be thinking of 7.
Seven.
No, he's thinking of XP.
P. Oh, it is XP.
I love me some XP. The big old bubble start makes me feel.
The big green bubble
Oh,
star.
no,
yeah.
you're thinking of the bubble shot, then that's Vista, yeah.
That is Vista, right? How dumb do you have to
I
be to
don't
love that
appreciate
thing?
the hitting of that. I
Yeah,
don't think
well,
that warranted it.
I'm a Vista guy
You weren't.
through and through.
But I don't know. It's just interesting to see for a game that they just updated to fucking 1.18 or whatever it is now, to then discontinue XP is hilarious. to
Well, I
me.
mean, they don't want to. They don't want to have to fucking deal with that
before the
nonsense.
remaster.
Yeah.
You have
No.
to pay somebody. You all right, Gary?
No, just wait till you hear this guy's name.
All right. Yeah. Gary,
let's move
Gary,
on,
hit
I
us
guess.
with your hot pocket news.
Okay.
Not hot. That's
Speedrunner.
the cross marketing. It's not hot pocket news. It's just pocket news.
Speedrunner beats
careful.
5
don't wanna-
Fallout
we don't have
games
to pay
in
for
a
that.
row.
Sorry.
Speedrunner beats 5 Fallout games in a row in under 2 hours.
Jesus.
Which ones were they? 1, 2, 3, 4. New Vegas. There's only 5 of them, right?
All of them.
Every single game he beat in under 2 hours.
Got
That's
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Nailed it.
Pretty crazy. Any fan of the Fallout series will tell you how easy it is to spend hours looting and exploring every corner of the wasteland. So you can imagine our surprise when speedrunner Tomato Anus finished all 5 main series games in a row in under 2 hours.
Well, I can see why he's got toilet to sit on.
The runs for the first 2 games are pretty straightforward. Tomato Anus made characters with maximum essential skills, strength, and Fallout, perception in Fallout 2, and endurance and agility for both. From there, he just ran like hell. In Fallout 3, Tomato Anus made frequent use of a glitch involving rapidly quick saving and quick loading.
Should be
Yeah.
potato.
Potato Anus would be.
That's
Would be
Gary's
fun.
alter ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Gary's TM copyright.
Yeah. The speedrunning routes for Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 require a whole lot of movement throughout the game's massive open worlds. Tomato Anus used 3 distinct strategies for each game to make his characters run even faster. Fallout 4 proved to be much more of a slog than the other games. The game's introductory.
Would you say 4?
4.
Was the slog,
Yeah, the game's introductory
32 minutes.
level is long and unskippable, but Tomato Anus passed the time by playing Pokemon Red and Blue.
Good call.
That game's speed trick, cover gliding, involved aiming around an object and quickly switching to third-person view, which allowed him to warp to a new position. Tomato Anus' final time for all 5 games was 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 54 seconds.
Hold on.
As a-
So it wasn't even like 2 hours. It was basically an hour and a half.
correct.
Holy shit.
Pretty impressive. I've never seen 1 and 2. I'm wondering.
It's
Pretty
Very
impressive.
I mean, I've seen it, but
Oh,
like
okay.
I haven't seen someone like play it. I've seen screenshots
It's
and like
sketchy.
sort of it,
It's
like some
sketchy.
video.
Like I wouldn't even think a computer could move that fast. That's how like all those videos of it just
Well, it's
seem
like a
so
Diablo.
old.
Remember when
Yeah.
we talked
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah.
When it went on sale or something.
Seems like any computer that
like
would
a
play
Diablo.
that would be like 600 years old.
But
Running Windows
with
XP.
those. I mean, that's the thing with those
Vista.
Those ones, it's like how you getting through. I don't know. I don't even know how it works. I don't even know how that game really.
It's completely
necessarily
different from
operates.
the.
Yeah, I've
others.
only completed Fallout 4, which is weird, and then, but an hour and a half is crazy.
That's crazy.
That's
yeah.
a-
Pretty.
You can
Not
watch
a lot of
Tomato
time.
Anus on YouTube. Just search.
We
Tomato
plugging them
Anus.
or?
We're plugging Tomato Anus.
I mean, you gotta check this guy
all
out.
aboard.
You're
Is that
plugging
a Super
tomato
Handle
anus?
too? Do you just want to add tomato
plugging-
anus?
I mean, you might as
Like,
well. Might
yeah,
as
I'm
well.
glad you got that 7 seconds later.
It was pretty immediate.
And that's all the hot news that I got coming out of my pockets today.
The only other hot news that I have that I forgot to send in was that Telltale Games announced 3 new games that are coming out in 2017 and 2018. First, there's the second season of Batman, which I'm really excited for. I finished up the first season. I really thought that they kind of did a great job with the Batman story and how they've kind of taken the lore and kind of twisted it to their, just kind of changed things up a little bit. I was a huge fan of that. And then that's coming out in August, so within the next month, that game, the first episode of that game should be out.
Tweeted
And
something
then-
about the Riddler, didn't you?
Yeah. So earlier this week on my Twitter, you can find me at It's a Me BT. It's a image of Batman, and he's being kind of like hooked by the Riddler. But if you look at it, it's the Riddler has like a Zorro mask on
Which-
with a green hood.
Which the Zorro mask thing, he does have the mask.
Yes, he does. But with the
Correct.
green hood, he looks just like Green Arrow.
I saw this tweet, and the actual hood itself, the jacket, looks just like the Green Arrows. Like,
Yeah.
it looks like it's supposed to be or something. It is just like they
twist.
couldn't have probably made it look any more like it. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be on purpose or what.
Yeah, I mean,
Homemade shows
maybe
it.
he's wearing it and he thinks it's Oliver Queen, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Oliver," and then the Riddler's like, "Fuck you, I got you. You just told me who it was."
Right.
And so, like, I'd love to see that. I'm a huge
Yeah.
Arrow fan, so
But it does look just like it.
yeah. So I'm really interested to see how that one goes. It's more focused on the Riddler and other characters that I won't spoil from the first series. Season, and then they also announced the Walking Dead final season, which is about time because there's like 4 seasons already.
Yeah, before you turn into The Walking Dead.
I played up to 2 and I
see what I did
stopped. There was a spinoff like the Michonne. She's from the show. I didn't play that one, and then there's the Last Frontier or something like that. I didn't play that one either. I was just like, I'm done with this. Like the first one was the best, and then 2 was okay. 2 I had a lot of fun with. But it wasn't anything crazy. And then the last game that they announced, and I'm super stoked for, is The Wolf Among Us 2. I think The Wolf Among Us is
When did that come out?
the first one.
Yeah.
2013.
Did you have a complaint that
Holy shit.
that one chugged?
They all chug.
They all chugged.
They all chug.
Are you just saying all Telltale games? or
All
chug,
Telltale
yeah.
games do not have it. For whatever reason, the engine it does seem
Tough to just get that X button right.
It's never like the timing of button presses or
It's-
anything
yeah,
like
it's just-
that.
it's just the animation,
Yeah,
yeah.
the animation. It's not the best engine. So, The Wolf Among Us 2. The Wolf
You
Among
don't-
Us is based off of the graphic novels called Fables, where you play as a detective who's the big bad wolf, and everyone's afraid of him. So you get to pick and choose if you're going to be bad cop, good cop. And the story plays out by the actions that you do. And I think that the first one was super dark and violent, and I feel like all of your choices like really had an effect on other characters in the game because it kind of felt like Game of Thrones-esque, where it's like people died. It wasn't like, oh, like Catwoman got mad at me or whatever. It's
Right.
like people
that
died.
feisty
Yeah.
Selena.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to get my hands on the second season. That was another one that T and I, like, she just watched me play through it, and she was like,
I was about to
enthralled
ask.
by
You
it.
usually play through a lot of these Telltale games with Tia, right?
Yeah, I
Your
mean, they're
fiance.
great. They're great story
You
games.
just gifted me The
I,
Walking Dead.
I did just gift you The Walking Dead, so I actually, right now on Humble Bundle, there's a bunch of Telltale games for $1. So I spent the $1, and I had already played The Walking Dead Season 1. So I said, you know who will play this? Gerald. Gerald
I will.
play this.
I will.
And so I gave him that.
I appreciate that.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. But yeah,
Nice.
that's I think that's it for the news that we have. But we do have a question.
What?
We got a question
Yeah.
from Daniel Owens. You can follow him on Twitter at DanielOwens88.
Sweet,
Good
thank
friend,
you,
good
Daniel
friend of God
Owens.
Mike back there.
It's very
Someone fucked
true.
this up.
So his question is: all right, boys, here it goes. You have total control of Nintendo. What do you do? I don't know who wants to start.
Justin?
Justin
Because you had some ideas.
started before
Yeah.
we even
Yeah.
actually started, so
To be honest with you guys, I don't even remember what I said earlier.
perfect.
So-
Region lock.
Oh yeah, the fucking region locks. The first thing I would do is there would be no more products that you could only get in a certain part of the country because I desperately wanted.
world.
I mean, excuse me, in the world. Thank you, Brian. Because I desperately wanted for the 3DS, one of the 3DSs that have the interchangeable cases on them.
Yeah, so
Something
You
so
know what's
simple.
very
Right.
funny
They
is the
came
fact that
after.
up until the 3DS, every single Nintendo handheld was not region locked. They were the only
Yep.
well, they were the only systems up until then, pretty much.
Yeah.
Out of a Sony,
And
Microsoft,
it's not even necessarily just a region lock,
that
but
were
just product
you know.
exclusive. I don't want to have
Exclusivity, yeah.
exclusivity like this version of the console you can buy with the cool graphics over here in Japan or over here in
Right.
the UK or over
So
here in America. Like, just
The
I
UK is
want it. Give
getting
it to
an
me.
incredible collector's edition of Metroid Samus Returns.
That's true.
Where the game cart or the game box
It's the kind of shit I'm talking
But you
about.
can
looks
still
like
buy
the
it and
original
play it.
cart. So that's really cool. I want that. I want to import that. But the problem is that I can't play the game.
No, you
so-
can. I'll show you how
You
to
can,
do it.
yeah, you
Oh,
can.
okay.
But you
All
see
right.
this? I'll show you
I know
how to do it. Shit.
Yeah.
See if I was running the show.
It would just
There'd be
None of
no
that,
show.
none of
There
that.
would be no
Yeah.
show.
well, the Switch is like that. So that's
There's no
good, though.
tricks here.
Yeah.
There's no ponies. Okay,
Yeah.
in this little act.
So the Switch is like that. So that's good. But
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
It's
pisses
very
me off.
weird that they did it on their hands. I'm curious as to why
Surprised.
they decided after every Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Color, DS, that they just or DSi that they decided, oh, we're gonna now region lock our handhelds,
Yeah.
and I don't know what
Should
the
I
logic
keep
was.
going or should we all let
I
somebody
mean,
else
no.
go?
If,
Unless you have
if
other
have
ideas.
other things that you would like to
Yeah,
see.
I don't know if the third party gaming has to do with just the technology or their reluctance to
Yeah.
work with other companies. But if it's the reluctance, there would be none, really, for me, for the most part, outside of financial things. If people don't want to make software from our hardware, that is what it is. But I would definitely third parties gotta be.
Skyrim's playable at Comic-Con right now.
Skyrim's dope as shit, and if you only
be
own a
there.
Nintendo, you're probably gonna love it. So yeah, that's something I would do. Let's get as many games on here as we possibly could.
Not bad. Anthony, you got anything?
Moving straight over. Production of NES minis will continue.
Yeah, skyrocket those way up.
I'm
I
just
think
gonna
we
say,
all have that on our list,
that's just gonna
and
happen.
especially the Super Nintendo one. Hopefully,
Yeah,
Be no shortage of that shit.
yeah.
Be no
a
shortage
moneymaker.
of the Switch.
No shortage of.
Well,
Anything.
if that's
Anything.
something that they
Bullshit.
can help,
Correct.
there's arguments on either side of that.
I would have never named it the Wii U.
Well, yeah.
Well, if we're going further back,
We're going all over the place.
Yeah, whatever,
Decisions-wise,
yeah.
more RPGs for fucking Super NES. Like how
Wii
far
U.
go back?
What a
we go?
shitty name.
I would probably stop making consoles and just have games go to every system, PC, and just make your first party games and
Have
just,
Mario wherever you can get them.
It's a good way to end the company, but
I mean, is it though?
Well, if it's his company and he wants to
Well,
just make
that's what you
games,
wanna do.
yeah,
It's
if he
my
wants to
company,
just
that's what
make
I'm
games.
saying.
if you want to bring
But,
the
like-
revenue way down, sure.
Well, but maybe he wants to bring joy way around. Think about that.
True.
I don't think it's it's not, to me, it's not a long-term
Yeah.
solution to what is
To what they're going through right
short-term
now.
problem for Nintendo.
No, I can see that, but like I can also see if Super Mario Odyssey is available for your Xbox One, for the PC, for the PlayStation 4, and for your Nintendo Switch. How many copies is that going to sell? As opposed to, let's say there's 3 million
trillion.
Switches
I mean,
out on the
The only problem is
market.
they need to sell Switches.
You also have to argue that they can
So what do
then
you make more money
actually
off
be
of?
able to develop.
Again,
Yeah.
perfect world scenario. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like they would
Well,
make,
because the
they'd
way that
make
I
a
look
lot
at it
more
is
money that way.
you can just solely focus on your first party games and don't have to focus on trying to port third party games or Skyrim or whatever the hell it is over, because it doesn't seem like too many third party like big name games are coming out for it at the moment. Every game that I keep seeing announced, I'm looking for the little Switch logo and I don't see it.
I mean, Nintendo's not a third-party system.
Well, that's
Like,
what
you got to
I'm saying.
wrap your head around that.
That's why if
the,
it was
the
mine,
idea
I
that
know.
Nintendo doesn't.
I'm saying I
Go
would like
for
to
it,
play
but-
these games, but I don't want to buy a system.
But you're not. I mean, you.
I'm
own
in
a
charge
guy
of the
that
company, Steve. I can do what I want.
Fair enough. All right. You gotta be. You want your third-party games on the system.
No, I want to just bring their first party
he
games
just basically
to the
wants
master
to make
race,
them
and
a
I want
third-party
I want to bring them to PC.
That's an interesting CEO
He wants
move.
he wants some Mario PC.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If,
the hand-
if
but the-
Super Mario Galaxy was on PC, I'd own it.
So you're arguing get out of the hardware. As CEO,
Well,
you'd be like get out of the hardware business.
What about the handheld department?
That's not.
I mean,
that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep the 3DS.
3DS's sake.
Yeah, for sure. Just get rid of, stop going against PlayStation and just bring it to the PlayStation and Xbox and PC. That's what I would do.
Steve, what would you do?
Go you. I've had something. I can't remember. What it
Okay.
is.
To be honest with you, right now, I actually wouldn't do anything. I think
Babe.
I think that Nintendo right now is hitting all fronts. I mean, the third party thing, like Justin said earlier. I don't know actually if you said it on air, but you said it to me that like no one buys a
I have great
Nintendo.
ideas.
No one buys a Nintendo console
For
for the
anything
third parties
besides
anymore.
Mario
Like
anyways.
the last time you bought a third party game on like the Switch or on a Nintendo console was like GameCube. Unless it was like a third party exclusive for.
But
you
that
know,
was
like Bayonetta
everybody's.
was-
But that was everybody's favorite console.
But
Is
Nintendo
that a
also-
coincidence? I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. So like
That's
I
your
would say
favorite.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's favorite's the GameCube. Come on, guys.
So
Wake up.
N64
as of right now,
or-
like
Super
that's actually
NES.
probably a
Super
fan.
NES.
there's lots of really
Everybody's
good stuff.
favorite
Yeah.
Nintendo console is the console before the one that is current.
I guess.
Except for
Anyway,
the
besides
Wii
the
U.
Wii U.
Yeah.
Just
Let's ignore that.
But I think that they're doing a really great job right now. Like I know they realize that they fucked up with the Wii U, and I think that they have a great Zelda title. They have Mario on the horizon, so you have
Put
all
in
of these
a
games.
production of the actual systems and or NES classics.
I'm not saying that those are bad. What I'm saying is like I wouldn't really fuck with what they're doing. Like I mean I would have tweets, but I think that they're
Joy-Con.
doing
Yeah,
they're doing really
micro.
well for what they're doing right now. Like I would like to see more production of the Super NES Classic, like Anthony said.
But-
I would like to make sure that you have the stock of Amiibo for people that want to buy it. Like I want to buy a Majora's Mask Amiibo. I can't find it anywhere. I would like to make sure that you have the Super NES Classic and you have that readily available. That should be in
All over the
Plentiful.
shelf.
It should be
That
plentiful when you release
That
it.
should be at a CVS for like a 50-year-old to go like, oh my god, I played this back in the day. Like, let me buy one of these.
Yep.
Like they should
Be
on-
as seen on TV section.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, no,
that's
yeah.
that's
a
exactly
very
what I'm
good.
saying.
Yeah. I like that.
I would like to see third-party support, but at the end of the day, like
I would
that's
like to
not-
see a bunch more skins or different console like colors and stuff. I
The
figured
Switch one, they
Nintendo
drew
would
the
be the
GameCube
company that would have the blue one, the green one, the orange
Yeah.
one, the this one, the that
Yeah.
one.
Well, I mean,
but they don't
I
have a
feel
lot
like
of
that's what
hardware
they're-
on the shelves.
They're
but
doing that
That'd
with the
be nice.
Joy-Cons, which are
It's minuscule.
Well, they
stuff.
did it with the
it's little things.
the 3DS that I didn't get my hands on till it was too late. Apparently,
Yeah, it's
You
too
still
late for you.
heard about that.
I had something else that I can't really remember right now, but I'm gonna.
I'm just gonna. Mine was just being more honest with what the situation is. So,
the scarcity thing?
Well, no, admitting. Okay, is the 3DS actually still a
Relevant?
thing, or or just I should say, if I'm the CEO, deciding, is the 3DS
a thing or not.
purposeful or not? Yeah, exactly. Is it a thing or not? So if we're gonna make the Switch the
Handheld,
hybrid
yeah.
handheld,
Yeah.
then
It almost
the
seems like
3DS
they don't want to
isn't-
say anything to the public in case something goes wrong.
Well, I mean,
You
I
want to
think
keep the
it's-
money from
yeah.
the
The
DS.
2DS for me would have never happened. It would have been like discount the 3DS, bring it to $99,
And
because then you
sell
could
a
still
shit ton of
sell a
them.
shit ton of them and make that money as you transition in this new period where
Actually-
okay, the Switch is the handheld.
the new 2DS XL whatever one
clamshell thing.
clamshell one is coming out next Friday. So for
Yep.
those of you that are interested,
And then my only other thing would be admitting, like, okay, whether or not we actually want to take online seriously or not. It's like,
Like, are we gonna do this or not?
Pay
do
somebody.
this?
Just pay
Don't
somebody.
dangle it
if
in
we're
front of
gonna
people.
do it. If we're not, just admit, okay, that's
Don't
it. We're not
half-ass it.
interested. Like, you're not getting voice chat.
Yeah, just say
Period.
it.
Just
say
don't
it.
do it.
Tell it to me
You
straight.
can play game. We'll create a way to play games online, but you're not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a
you're
good
playing
point.
Splatoon.
use Discord.
Yeah, use a Skype,
Yeah, just-
use Discord, call someone on the phone, use FaceTime, whatever the fuck you got to do. But we're not, and it's part of, my thought is like, okay, if we're a child, child-friendly company, I can see why they don't want to do voice chat. They want random voice chats. Fine, then just make the decision. Don't half-ass.
The reasoning.
We're not going to make an app.
Excuse.
I feel like the thing with that, Steve, and I agree with you 100%, but I feel like there's always this kind of like they're afraid to admit that they can't do something.
Right, exactly.
So it's
in my
instead of-
company, we would just be like,
You know what?
it's
can't-
over.
We can't do this.
Or we're not interested.
pay
We're not-
somebody- or just
it's
hire
not-
somebody
it's
else.
It's just part of it. You don't know right now. Is it they're afraid to admit that they can't do it, or they
don't wanna
wanna
venture
admit that
into
they don't
something.
want to do it?
Yeah.
Well,
Either
it's
way.
interesting because their last two games that really came out are multiplayer games.
Right. Exactly.
So like it's just, but then the voice chat is like,
right. I mean, people. I saw reviews of like Splatoon 2 where they're saying it's like Nintendo's kind of pinnacle of online, like just
What does
playing
that
online.
mean,
But
though?
it means like the just playing online.
Yeah.
But not the actual like.
But are you
Online
actually,
community,
are you
yeah.
actually
what I'm
playing
saying?
online though? Do you know that for a fact?
Well, I don't know.
You
I
can't
haven't
talk to
played
other
it.
people. Are they actually other people, or are they just bots?
Oh,
Are they
that'd
just
be funny.
fucking with
That would
everybody?
be.
Is it No Man's Sky out here? Is there anybody out there or not? I've been looking. I can't find
You
anyone.
never know.
hear me?
That might
Yeah.
be the whole
Is
like
there
Nintendo
anybody
brainwash.
home?
They're actually
Shyamalan,
not playing online. They're all
That's why
bots.
there's no voice chat. Gary's on to something.
Shyamalan.
If this was
I'm
Gary's
more-
company, no one would be
Hashtag
playing
stay
anybody.
But that's what I, it would just be like either I would decide we're not interested in online or just not
Just
online.
have a
and, like,
solid statement about
right,
it.
exactly.
Man up. Man
I
up.
figured out
Yeah.
and I remembered what it was. So you finish yours.
And then I would just say like it would be, and then my first order would be Netflix virtual
More
console,
Luigi.
end of story.
Just more
Like,
Luigi.
Fucking do it. No.
Just
I
so
agree
much
with
more
this.
Luigi.
Well, that's
I
what
agree with
Luigi-
this.
They're doing that though.
Luigi's funeral.
No, fuck you off, dude. No.
No,
Wow, dude.
no.
2 points off of Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, they are. But I would just I'd make sure it's done
Properly.
like properly.
What were your things?
So the last thing that I would have said was I'd like to give Nintendo of America the reins and let them and see what they can
that's
do
a
for
perfect one,
3,
yeah.
4
Reggie.
years. Just see what they can do. Maybe they can appeal to the Western audience, which I'm sorry.
way better than
I'm sorry,
Japan
but
can.
your Japanese audience is not nearly as big as your Western audience is. There's not a fucking chance. There's no way that.
Well,
it
there's
is.
no chance that the Western audience, the Japanese audience could be as big as the Western audience could be if you let
did it
Nintendo
right.
of America
like
do what they
go,
fucking
like-
need to do.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd like to see Nintendo of America have an actual chance at creating things, running things for a couple years, just to give them some, to see what happens.
Yep.
And if they suck, then it's
Then-
like you have that treasure chest to fall back on.
Yeah.
You can recoup and then go from there. But I think right now
I
they're
don't
doing
even
a
think you
decent
could
job.
fuck it up that bad.
Any
you know?
worse
As the
Any worse than the
president of
Wii U?
Nintendo, I say 4 more years of Luigi. All day, every day, Luigi. He's on the
Build that
front.
wall.
Vote this man.
He's on the front of the console.
Yeah.
I got a Luigi
If
console.
man,
you
I
want to
agree.
look at the trend,
I would have a Mario
correlation
and a
isn't
Luigi
causation,
version of
but,
every console.
Wii U and
Waluigi.
the U Luigi
Selling 2
lined
of
up
them.
pretty well.
Yeah.
Although the first year
I'd
of
buy 2 of
GameCube,
those.
Come
So
on.
hold on, guys. If
I would.
if I own Nintendo and I made
You already had your chance.
a Mario and a Luigi version of every console, would you own 2?
I'd buy 2 Luigis.
If I literally made a red and a green one of each console, like let's say,
What consoles?
If you're gonna give me,
would you get a red and a
No.
green, or would you
No.
just buy the green every time?
I would just buy the green every
No,
time.
you know how I roll. 2 greens.
Yeah, you fucking savage. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the Drunken News game show. That wasn't really a game
Yeah,
show.
I
It was
guess
just
we're not
Drunken
gonna call
News.
it
We're not
Drunken News
gonna-
game show
whatever.
Thank you
It
for
was
your
way too
question.
hot.
Yeah, it was way
way
too
If you
hot.
want to send your questions,
Yep. So Daniel Owens, 88.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks a lot for the
Great
question. We
question.
really appreciate it.
Why
Could use a
don't
review.
we ask you what would you do?
yeah, what would you do? Let us
read
know
it
in the
next
comments
week.
below.
he might have left a review. I didn't check.
Well,
we haven't
we'll
checked.
get back to you.
Also, if
we'll
you
check.
guys,
We'll check in a couple months.
If you guys have questions that you want us to answer, you can send those over to brian@pxlpts.com or just send us a tweet. Let us know. You can find us on Twitter @pxlpts or @tangent_podcast. We'll read
Send
them
that
on
to
there.
DM. Slide in the DM.
Yeah, slide into our DMs.
Goes down in the DM.
That's the 2016 move through and through. So we appreciate that. But we're going to take a quick break and come right back with what we're doing on the site, our Twitter handles, and